Well, let's talk about the season last year. A good season. Not a great season, but a very successful season, especially down the stretch. You guys had a rough start, but then had a very nice finish to the season. Not as many home victories as you would have liked, I'm sure, last year, but a very good season overall, correct?
Well, it was a growing season for us. You know, we made some philosophical changes in regards to our offense, and midstream through season we decided to go back to a little more traditional offense for us, and it took us a couple weeks to figure that out. And then we kind of got into a groove there, so that was a growing process for both myself and the kids, and they adjusted quite well. As far as a successful season, you know, our last 2 years we finished third in the league. We didn't have as many wins last year as the first year here. You know what, we evaluate our season. We want to compete for the conference championship all the time. We want to be in the hunt to win the league in the last couple games, in which we weren't this year. But we also want to be peaking at the end of the year so we can maximize our playoff opportunities, and we thought we were doing that until we kind of stumbled that second round.
Yeah.
So that was disappointing in that regard. But the kids played hard, and they, whoops, got a mosquito there.
Got him.
Did I?
I hope so.
And the kids responded well, and I think they had a good experience, and didn't finish the way we were hoping, but overall, I enjoyed coaching the kids. You know, this is year 3 now. They're starting to figure me out, my style, my personality. You know, it's been a transition for them. It's been a transition for me, and a transition for the coaching staff. So hopefully we've got each other figured out, all of us, and that leads to a better performance and better, you know, better representation of the Trojans this year. But we will see.
One of the things that always seems to be happening, at least the last 4 or 5 years with this team, is a rotating quarterback, and that seems to be another thing this year. Is that one of those things that you're always concerned about, is having a starting quarterback year in and year out, a different guy each year?
Well, what has happened, I don't know if a rotating quarterback is, it's just not a consistent quarterback. And my first year we get here, we moved the defensive end to play quarterback, Ryan Hagen. Did a fabulous job in the transition, ended up being an all-conference player. Next year we moved the defensive back there, his senior year, and Ben Trawertha ended up being an all-conference player. This year we've got some kids who've been playing the quarterback position the way that we wanted it, but we've also moved some other kids to see if we can create some good competition there. Where it goes this year, we're going to have to wait and see. To be honest with you, we'd like to have kids in place and a pattern to that. We just haven't had a chance to do that. And is that a fault of mine, a fault? I don't know if it's a fault of anybody. But we do try to target certain people to play that position. It takes a certain type of kid to do that. Very similar to the qualities of a point guard in basketball. With maybe a little more physical toughness because they run the ball so much. And it's a tough position to find. So hopefully we're going to find that this year. And the majority of our quarterbacks in the varsity right now competing are juniors. So if we can have a 2-year, we'd like to have a 2-year guy. So the senior year they've got it figured out and do that. We haven't had it, and they've worked out pretty well for us. But hopefully we can remedy that problem in the future.
Figure something out for that. And you mentioned with the quarterback position, obviously now this year coming in, this is the second year of the quote-unquote the newer Minnesota Conference. Of course, last year Chaska and Chanhassen came in, Hutchinson and Prior Lake out. What were your thoughts of the quote-unquote new Minnesota Conference last year, and what do you see as what could be happening this year?
Well, I think it actually is good because you know, the geography of it and the location is really healthy for travel and rivalries. Prior Lake is like a top 10 enrollment school in the state, so they should probably be playing bigger schools to get them ready for their playoffs. So the other 2 teams came in, Chaska and Chanhassen, and they're 2 schools that are similar size to us, so I think that's healthy. And then I think Hutchinson had kind of an aura in this conference of this big physical thing, so that's they went to a different conference and got a little taste of something different. So I think it's been a healthy competition, healthy change, and you know, the new sections are leading to us. We have Chanhassen and Chaska in our section, so that'll add another rivalry. We could be playing both those teams twice a year. So I think it's good, and good, healthy, and sometimes change is good, and I think that is good for us.
Talk about that new section, the 7th class, not this year, but next year going to be added for football. What are your thoughts on that?
I think in regards to our section or the restructuring, or what do you want?
A little bit of both.
Well, the whole restructuring is designed to accommodate the monster schools, the big schools who have chosen to stay big. But something has to be done. Those big schools only having 5-6 games because no one wants to play them. That's not right. Every team should have 8 regular season games. Now, have they chosen to not break up into 2 schools and create these? Yes, they have. So I think the restructure is good. Something needed to happen there, and I think that's good. In regards to how they did it, that's what the powers that be. That's why they do those things, and we live with what we have. In regards to our new section, I think it's a tougher section for us. With the Chanhassen and Chaska, we have Northfield in there, Waconia. I forget who
Mankato
else.
West.
Mankato West. I mean, the team that comes out of that section is going to be pretty good. Mm-hmm. And there are no gimmies in that section. Not that there are gimmies in ours, but there's some higher level teams in that section, I think.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. But talk about this year's section. What's the hopes? What are the goals for this team this year?
Well, we always would like to, like I said, I want our program to be where we think we can compete for the conference championship and then compete to win a section championship. And we're hoping that we put ourselves in that position. It's the same old people in the section that we've been going against with the Northfields and the Faribaults and then ourselves, and then if someone has a better team, but Northfield is our rival, and right now so is Faribault, and I have a nice little rival in 2 years there. We're just going to worry about our practices and our scrimmage and our first game, and we got a home opener against Mankato West, which is going to be a challenge for us, which is good. Got a quarterback who committed to the Gophers, and we're going to have to defend that guy and move the ball and keep him off the field. And I'm looking forward to it. It'll be an exciting challenge.
Talk about that little home-and-home series this year, and then, of course, next year you guys will play Mankato West, changing from Faribault to Mankato West. Talk about how that's going to be for you guys this year. That's quite a team to start the season off against.
Well, people ask me why we've done that. Well, Faribault wanted a different change, so I understand that. And, you really don't want to play a non-conference game and have to play them again in the playoffs. That's kind of really you don't want to play anybody twice. That's just kind of, you like the fresh opponents. But Mankato West came available early, and I decided I want to play those guys because they've been at this high level, and if we're going to get to the high level, we need to play people at a high level. And so that's why I decided to go with those guys. And it's a close location, nice little rivalry, and we'll go 2 years and see where that happens. And now they're in our section, so we may want to go somewhere else and see. And so that's why. Very
interesting. And a mention, I know you talked about it already a little bit, but talk about who do you think is the favorite in the conference this year? Is Shakopee going to be a team that can maintain what they did last year and be a favorite this year, or is Northfield going to be the favorite? Who's going to be the favorite in the conference?
Well, hopefully Shakopee can't maintain what they were doing. They were a nice football team last year. However, they're now, I think they now are the biggest school in our conference. They've got a good group of kids, good feeder system, and now they're in like 5 or 6 of their offensive system and coaching staff together, so they're kind of fitting their groove. I would pick them probably as a preseason favorite, and then Northfield probably is the next. And then there's a group of us that's probably in that next tier, and who that may be, I don't know. But I would pick those two as the 2 front runners, and just because of the sheer numbers and what Shakopee did a year ago, and their youth teams have been doing quite well. And then the tradition that Northfield has and the coaching staff that they have will put them to the top.
Coach Benick, thanks a lot for your time. Good luck this season.
You bet. Thank you.